You know your quadriceps, right? That powerhouse muscle on the front of your thigh that lets you stand, climb, kick, you name it. But what if I told you that one of its most important members holds a secret, a kind of biomechanical puzzle that, on the surface, seems to completely defy logic? Well, today, we're diving in and unraveling the rectus femoris paradox.
So think about that for a second. Imagine a muscle that's built for incredible strength, but at the same time seems to work against itself. Now, this isn't some kind of flaw in your body's design, not at all. It's actually a clue that points to a much more sophisticated system at play. And we're about to figure out exactly what's going on.
All right, let's start with what we know. The quadriceps femoris is, without a doubt, the undisputed champion of knee extension. It's the only muscle group that can straighten your knee. That makes it absolutely critical for pretty much every upright movement we make. I mean, without it, the second our knee bent, we'd just collapse. Simple as that. And when I say powerhouse, I mean it. The quad muscle group is roughly 3 times stronger than the muscles on the back of your leg that oppose it, your knee flexors. This incredible strength is what we need to constantly fight against gravity, stay stable on our feet, and, produce those explosive movements.
So the quad is made of 4 muscles, right? You've got the 3 vasti muscles, the intermedius, lateralis, and medialis. You can think of these guys as the powerful, reliable workhorses. They've got one job, and one job only: extend the knee. And then there's the rectus femoris. It's on the team for sure, but it just doesn't play by the same rules. And this is where our story gets really interesting. The rectus femoris isn't your average workhorse. You could almost call it the problem child of the group, because it introduces this major biomechanical puzzle that we need to solve.
Okay, so here's what makes the rectus femoris so special and so weird. Unlike its 3 teammates, it's what we call a bi-articular muscle. That just means it crosses 2 joints. See how it starts way up on the pelvis, crosses the hip, and then runs all the way down to cross the knee? This unique path means it can do 2 totally opposite things. It can flex your hip, which brings your thigh up, and it can extend your knee, which straightens your leg out. And boom, here it is, the core of the mystery. The rectus femoris paradox. Just think about standing up from a chair. To do that, you need to extend your hip and extend your knee to get upright. But wait a minute, the rectus femoris wants to extend your knee, while at the exact same time it wants to flex your hip. It literally seems to be fighting the very movement it's supposed to be helping with. How does that make any sense?
This looks like a seriously inefficient design, doesn't it? So how on earth does the body take this potential mess and turn it into a masterpiece of smooth, coordinated movement? Well, it doesn't do it alone. It calls in some pretty powerful backup. And the first hero in our story is a muscle we're all familiar with, the gluteus maximus. But for our purposes today, let's just call it the anchor, because that is precisely the critical role it's about to play. This analogy is just brilliant for explaining what's happening. Look at the top image. Let's say the rectus femoris is trying to pull the rope to move that box. That's the knee. But it's standing on an unstable pelvis, which is our skateboard. What happens? All that pulling force is wasted. The skateboard just rolls backward. But now, look at the bottom image. We've got an anchor holding that skateboard steady. Now, all that pulling force is transferred directly and effectively to moving the box. And that is exactly what's happening inside your body. When you decide to stand up, your gluteus maximus fires powerfully to extend your hip. This basically locks your pelvis in place, creating that stable anchor we just talked about. By totally neutralizing the rectus femoris's annoying tendency to flex the hip, it lets all of that muscle's energy get directed straight down into one powerful action, extending the knee. And believe me, this synergy is not some minor anatomical detail. It is the absolute foundation for our most powerful movements. Every single time you get up from a chair, climb a flight of stairs, jump up, or break into a sprint, you are relying on this perfect, beautiful partnership between your glutes and your rectus femoris.
But wait, that's only half the story. The paradox also has to be solved during really dynamic movements, like running. And for that, the body brings in another key player, the hamstrings. They create what you could call a cooperative rivalry with the rectus femoris.
Now, if you just glance at a textbook chart like this, these 2 muscles look like total enemies. I mean, at the hip, one flexes, the other extends. At the knee, one extends, the other flexes. You'd think they were destined to just fight each other constantly. But in real functional movement, the goal isn't just to move a joint, it's to get a task done.
Let's take running, for example. As you swing your leg forward, what's the goal? You want to flex your hip while also keeping your knee bent. Trying to run with a straight leg would be incredibly clumsy and inefficient. So, as the rectus femoris contracts to pull your hip up into flexion, its other tendency, to straighten the knee, is perfectly canceled out by your hamstrings, which are contracting at the same time to flex the knee. It's amazing. They actually work together by opposing each other, which gives us a smooth, powerful running stride.
So you see, after looking at all this, it becomes pretty clear that we've been looking at the rectus femoris all wrong. It's not just a simple mover, and it's definitely not a biomechanical problem child. It's something way more sophisticated. It's the body's master coordinator.
This quote from the source material just says it all, doesn't it? The true value of the rectus femoris isn't in brute strength. Its real genius is its ability to link the hip and the knee, to coordinate what those more powerful single-joint muscles are doing, and to let energy flow smoothly all the way through your leg.
Okay, so let's put this all together now. Let's take the theory and turn it into the complete playbook for the movements you and I perform every single day.
This table is such a fantastic summary. Look, to stand up from a squat, you need hip and knee extension. So the glutes act as the anchor while the quads fire. Simple. To get ready to kick a ball, you need hip and knee flexion. That's our rectus femoris and hamstrings in their cooperative rivalry. When you're slowing down from a sprint, it's the glutes and hamstrings working together. And for something like a controlled straight leg raise, the body does something brilliant. It bypasses the rectus femoris's conflict entirely by using a pure hip flexor, the iliopsoas, and the pure knee extensors, the vasty muscles. I mean, it's an incredibly intelligent system.
Ultimately, this whole thing boils down to one powerful biomechanical rule you can take with you. Muscles that cross two joints, like the rectus femoris, are for coordination. The real, raw power comes from the muscles that cross just a single joint, like the vasty muscles and the glutes. So the rectus femoris paradox? It was never a flaw. It was a feature all along, a brilliant design that gives us both incredible strength and beautifully fluid movement. It kind of makes you wonder, right? What other so-called flaws in our bodies are actually hidden masterpieces?